Welcome to episode 38. And today we have segment of success stories. We have special appearance from this amazing guest. Noel is going to bring her in just a little bit. And we have show and tell. Yes, one of some of your favorite segments that Noel and I show you something and tell a little story behind it. So I'm going to bring you through our first segment, which is success story. And I did not plan this, Noel. This success story somehow came to me this week, co-aligned with our theme for today's episode. So I have a client. His name is, I call him Uncle Tana. Why I call him Uncle Tan is because he's 65 and above. I'm going to put a full stop. So he come to me with a rounded shoulder, a forward head posture. Okay, prior to training, and one of our key objectives is to address his posture. So this week he came to say, Alvin, when I was washing my hair, I finally can touch my head at the back. When barber wash your hair and then you lie down, so those of you who forward head, you won't be able to touch down. And he told me that he can touch, and he's so happy. And of course, his neck pain, everything reduced tremendously. So I feel it's a success story because his goal was not so much on like losing fat, building muscles. Of course, as he aged, his goal was just to improve the quality of life. And just a simple thing like when you're washing your hair, the barber can or the salon able to reach down and wash your hair and your head able to reach back. That is a success story to him. It's a success story to me because I feel so proud as a coach. I feel so happy for him. And I like to bring up this success story today prior to our guest is because today's topic is going to surround a little bit on mobility and active aging for the population of age 55 and above. So that is my success stories that I like to share with everyone. The success story of Uncle Tan.
Awesome. And I think it's really awesome that you shared that, Alvin, because I think in this whole fitness scene, sometimes we forget that fitness is about getting stronger. It's about having better quality of life. It's about being able to do things better. Sometimes we forget that in the pursuit of diets,
Right.
hard workouts, building muscle, losing weight. We tend to overlook these little successes and little wins. So that's great. And yes, Alvin is right. It's a great introduction. As today we have a returning guest. And we're about to bring her in. They know who already. We already posted it on our Instagram, right? So I'm gonna bring her in on my Instagram. She's been waiting to join. She's been ready from 8 o'clock. Can you believe that? 8 o'clock. That's one thing about trainers. They're always like early and ready and ready for action. So we're gonna welcome Josephine. Just give her a couple of moments for her to accept the invites on her multiple devices also. Hopefully she won't have as much drama as I did with my audio. It's always the drama's always with me. Welcome back, Jill. Thanks for being here.
Hi guys. Thanks, Elvin and Noel, for having me here again.
And also, just
Hi,
as a
everyone.
refresher to everybody, I'm going to officially introduce Joe because maybe you're here and you're like, who's this person? I thought this show is about two guys and their gyms. How come there's a girl here? It's always been guys. No, okay. So I'm going to introduce Joe. Joe is a longtime friend of mine. Even before I think I started a gym, I've known Joe for a long time from our days in Fit Malaysia, and we've bumped into each other in conventions and other places. Actually, we don't bump into each other much in Malaysia. We bump into each other like all over, just like with Alvin. And Joe, if you're following her on social media, her Instagram handle is Mobility with Joe, and I really like that. And Joe, if I were to read maybe later you can give us the details like what do your qualification all those alphabets mean. I've always been curious because there's so many in this fitness world. People see these alphabets, they don't quite know what it means, right? So Joe's going to help us with that. But Joe's a dear friend. Joe's been working with in many gyms. Joe's been working with people on one-on-one, and based on what I see on her Instagram, she is fully booked until December for one-on-one training. How awesome is that? That's like an Instagram profile. In other words, he's saying like, I'm booked, everybody, join the line, join the queue. So that's great. And her goal is to help people move confidently. And I really love that. People who are working on the whole other end spectrum of fitness that we often don't think about. So, welcome. Happy Monday, Joe. Thank you for being here. Could you share with all of us who you are and what is it that you do?
I'm getting very nervous now.
Ah,
Okay.
don't be.
All right. Hi, guys. Very good evening to all of you. My name is Joe, very short form of Josephine See. So I'm from KL. My favorite fruit is, guess what? Durian.
I knew it. Someone was going to say it. I knew it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a keen stretch instructor and CrossFit trainer and weightlifting coach. So yeah, I have many things under my belt. Being a personal trainer for this year will be my 8th year, and specialize in training people one-on-one and been coaching in CrossFit gym for 5 years now, for a good 5 years. Just last year, I started to have a specialty in my offering, which is mobility training. Yeah, so I'm a bit like brain freeze right now.
Do 10 push-ups.
So
You'll feel better.
maybe burpee. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Maybe some squat. Okay, my favorite movement is squat. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Alvin,
Joe,
Alvin has
show me
more,
some
more
questions.
questions for you.
yeah, no. Just take a deep breath, Joe. And I love that you are here early and we go through this. And we love having you here. One thing that I hope that everyone watching today's episode can get a glimpse of how sincere Joe is and her passion in mobility. So just now coming back, you mentioned about keen stretch, right? And if you look through your social media, we can see Joe, personal trainer, keen stretch instructor. Can you share a little bit about what is keen stretch and what's the story behind it?
Okay, so let's start off with a story. Back in when I just started CrossFit, so I come across Olympic weightlifting. So for those who don't know, if you check out weightlifting section in Olympic sports event, there's like people wearing singlet, right? And then go onto the stage and then they lift weight to overhead. So I was introduced to that sports when I started CrossFit. That was like 6 years ago. And since then, I've been like very actively involved, like training, specifically weightlifting, to the point where I entered some competition and actually represented Malaysia. But that's like not a very massive comp, but still won a gold medal from Malaysia. Yeah, so
Wow.
so that year I was also very busy competing in like local CrossFit competition, but we are not allowed to call it CrossFit because it's like the license name. Like we call it functional fitness competition. So within a year time, I enter like 3 of those kind of mini events, and then also go to different places for 3 different weightlifting meet. We call it weightlifting meet, means something like a mini competition.
Okay.
It's a very small scale one. But during that year, I started to feel like my body is kind of like breaking down, but not really. I was at my fittest, my strongest, and I felt really good in front of people. And that's what everyone sees me at. But behind the scene, I'm actually quite broken. I have pain almost everywhere in my body. It affect my sleep. I can never have like a full night, like good sleep. And I visit physio pretty often, like visit physio, chiro really, really often. Like, so that end of the year, I got sick, like not like very, very bad sick, but I wasn't feeling very well for like 2 weeks time. It's just like a downtime. So I started to feel like, okay, my body is getting really tired from preparing for the competition, traveling to the competition venue, Like some of them is like, one of it is like Kuching, one of it is like Penang, and all over the
And how
places.
did all of this lead you to kin stretch, which is what you are very passionate about
Yeah, so
right
I'm
now?
getting into it. So 1 year after that very busy year of competing, like 10 months after that, I actually got injured. But that 10 months prior to that, I wasn't doing any competition, wasn't training for competition. I was in fact in an indoor rock climbing gym. And then when I was approaching one of the last, like a last rock, and I can feel there's a click on my shoulder, and I was like, okay, that was really really painful, but I still finished what I have to start, what I started. Then, but when I came down, I was like, okay, this is really really uncomfortable. So yeah, I got injured, but it wasn't a major one. My shoulder's still there. It didn't dislocate, but I couldn't do two movements, which is one is overhead, and I couldn't close the car door without pain. So imagine I have to wash my hair just like your client. It's like I become a very dysfunction person. And that actually, of course, I feel like very down and all that. And so happened that 1 month after that, I was introduced to FRC, which is a mobility training system called functional range conditioning. So
FRC, functional range
FRC,
conditioning. Okay.
yeah. So the training system is called FRS. So kin stretch is actually from this training system, but it's in group setting. So when I was introduced to that, the first time I do one of the position, I I have no access to the area that I wanted to access, which is my hip. So I was told to, you sit in this position and then you try to lift the leg up. I'm like, okay, I will do that. And then I'm looking at my leg. The leg is like looking back at me. I have no control over it. That means I couldn't move it, right? So then I realized that, okay, even though I was at my fittest, I was at my strongest, I was on my oldest as well. Just kidding. But there's this one small thing that I cannot do, which is like
Yeah.
the that couldn't control myself. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's interesting. So I dialed it. Like few months after that, I practiced whatever I've learned, and then actually I got much better. I actually went to physio for 3 times after my injury, and that's it. After that, I just stopped because I want to try this training system out. And then true enough, it helped me, and then I keep testing it with weightlifting movement, like some other movement. I see how much I can lift, whether I can do it without pain or not. And now I'm proud to say that I got out of the injury, even though I'm not like 100% fit like last time because lack of training. But I'm really happy that I'm back to more functional right now. Like I can do things that I want to do without like losing my sleep, being very grumpy. I have to spend a lot of money on visiting physio regularly. It's like basically a pain-free life. So it's like I really, really appreciate it. And I realized that a lot of people actually needed this as well, because a lot of people forgot that the reason they want to work out is actually to be not just to be fit, but the real reason to be fit is actually they just want to be a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
But the people around me, they're kind of like opposite. They seem to be super fit, but they're also in a lot of pain. So I thought, actually, I was very reluctant to become a group fitness instructor, and but because I have like CrossFit coaching experience for about 5 years, I thought, okay, why not just give it a try? Because I wanted to do this course just for my personal training client. Then I thought, okay, I'll just give it a try.
And what is this course called now? This is the kin stretch course.
Yes, this is a kin stretch course.
Okay, so you've been very competitive. You train hard.
Yeah.
Body kind of broke down, went through lots of pain, then kind of took a step back, focused on working within rather than just working out. And eventually you discovered kin stretch, and you wanted to help other people with that. And that's an amazing journey. I think lots of trainers have similarities like this. They go through something themselves, and then they realize that I can help someone learn from my how do I say it? Other people think so. Like, see, you got injured, and you may think that it's a bad thing, but it became a good thing now because you are now helping people with that. And
Yeah.
a lot of trainers have stories like this. So here's the thing: like, it took you a whole big journey to even discover this whole kin stretch thing, because this kin stretch thing or mobility or working within is actually not a very sexy thing, lah. It's not. People like to do the hard stuff, the HIIT and all that stuff, which is awesome. So now that you've been helping people becoming pain free, how do you convince them actually? Because it's not easy. It's very easy to tell people, hey, do this and lose weight, and everyone wants to do it. But if I want to tell people that, look, you got to spend the next 8 weeks and take a 45-minute class, and maybe you won't sweat so much, and people are like, huh, really? And like, how do you convince people to do something like this?
This is a very difficult question. I think, okay, just for your
Not difficult.
information,
Okay, no, let me make it easy for
a
you.
lot
Sorry,
of
I
people.
turned it
Okay,
into
never
yeah.
mind. I just want to like share with
Imagine
you.
if I'm a client now, Joe. I want to work with you. I want to train. Convince me. I guess that's what I'm saying. Why should I do kin stretch?
You know what? This is even harder. But I will just give you. I will just share with you my experience. I'll just share with you my experience.
Sure.
So, actually, a lot of people come to me with some sort of nagging pain, and this is a pattern that I have seen nowadays. They have pain, so first thing they do, of course, visit the physio, which is the right thing to do. And which client come to me with pain, I said, have you done anything about it? I said, yeah, I've been to physio. Okay, great. So do you see any improvement in it? I said, yeah, but it come back again. So I would say 90% of the people who attended my class have the same experience. So they are mostly exercises. Yes, all of them are exercises, meaning they've been doing some sort of physical activity already, and then they have some sort of pain from doing the physical activity, and they did something about it, but it didn't get better, even though after 6 months, 1 year, even 2 years, they've been dealing with the same sort of pain for 2 years. So, but when I tell them, okay, so can you do this? I ask them to do some show me like how far they can reach. Have you been told that how you can get the assessment done? Most of the answer was like no. So actually, I don't know like how to sell it, but except that I truly believe that this training
your
system
story,
is right.
your story,
Yeah.
that story that you said just now is actually the answer. That's your
Right.
journey, because you
Yeah.
you managed to become a bit more pain free and kind of heal yourself because you took time out. So that's really the benefit of doing it. And I wanted this also. Jojo 2021 said a lot of trainers focus on strength and weights without understanding clients' mobility issues, and that's what Joe does. She focuses on
Yeah.
mobility issues. And
Yeah.
mobility is something that sometimes people don't understand as well. So Alvin, do you have a question for Joe?
Yeah, maybe I can just add on to that. Maybe because
Hmm.
people don't understand, because it doesn't affect them immediately. And when we go out, when we think of health and fitness, a lot of the focus is given to weight loss, fat loss, all kinds of programs cater around that. And mobility is the not so sexy thing that not many people want to address immediately. They think like, let me get injured first, or only if I injured, then I look into it. But Joe is coming in. I believe, Joe, you may add on to that, is that like kin stretch is more like the prehab. It's not more rehab. Prehab kind of like address all of that first. Imagine with a better posture, you can do all of it later on pain free. And I can see some comments coming here saying pain free is the goal. Joe, your story is amazing. And Joe, your story is going to sell. Now, with that being said, Joe, okay, and you have gone through all of this, Joe, what is the first step for people who are looking to reduce pain? Like a client said, Joe, or Uncle Tan said, Joe, I have my neck pain. What is the first thing you will say to Uncle Tan?
I will ask Uncle Tan, what have you done with it? This is because I want to know if you're experiencing pain, what kind of things that you have done with it. Maybe you just like root yourself, massage yourself, or maybe you been to acupuncture, TCM, you've been taking some medication or buy some ointment, this kind of stuff to self-healing first, because usually this kind of stuff is like really common in the market. And then when like to the stage cannot tahan, then people will go to physio. Then I say, have you visit any healthcare professional regarding this matter because it's bothering you? They are like, oh yeah. So usually they will say yes. Like my circle of exercisers, they usually will say yes because they are well exposed to what physios are doing. Like not like me, like when I first started CrossFit, when I have like pain here and there, I was like, oh, physio, okay, what does physio do? I even asked my physio, what do you guys do actually? I was told to come and see you. So that was my real story. And then I come across a few physio. I never say they are not good. Like my Instagram post sometimes do say that, okay, manual therapy meaning to put people do treatment on you, like lay their hands on you. Manual therapy has its place, but it must come with some exercises after the treatment, and then you will see a longer term result.
Sure. So would you say that your first step to help people looking to reduce pain, would you say the first step is to find out what they've been doing and whether they've seen a physio before you start to work on them?
Of course.
Okay.
Like I cannot be like, okay, I have like neck spasm. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you this next exercise, and then I'm going to show. What if right? It's like, oh,
correct.
You know what? I used to do that last time. So that was like a mistake.
That's
so
right.
I learned. So nowadays I ask so much question. I just want to know, what do you do during the day? What exercise do you do? Like when you're not exercise, like
so that means, if I come to you
immediately,
if I come to you tomorrow, I want to do my first class with you. We probably for the first half an hour won't be doing any movement, right? You're probably going to be sitting and talking to me and understanding what's my daily routine like, what the workouts are doing. And that's great because you don't want to just put someone on any kind of program without understanding, especially when you are working on their insights, you're working within. And you want to make sure that, hey, because there may be a bigger issue, they may have some sort of injury that you and I would not know. Maybe they need an MRI or an X-ray. So you are being professional and doing the right thing and not saying the first step is to buy my program. Here you go. Just give me your card, right? So you're not doing that. So awesome. Thank you for sharing. People do that. Like, here, buy 10 sessions, then I will tell you what to do next.
Oh my God.
No. I love how you are working with your clients. Your clients are very lucky to have you. What is the best way for all those watching this, whether anyone watching this right now, if you're watching the recording or any later point, how can they find you? How can they learn more about all this awesome stuff that you're doing?
So they can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is, you already know, like Mobility with Joe. It's very simple.
I know, but they don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so you can also find me on Facebook page, which I'm having trouble to change the name. It's called I Work Out Loud, but I posted more stuff on Instagram. A lot of information. I spend a lot of time creating the content, writing the caption. Most of the time, it's just sharing my story, my client's story, even though I didn't say it's my client's story. I just hoping that more people actually realize that functional body should have functional joint. And how do you know you have a functional joint? Get access. Just don't guess. There's a lot of message out there on the internet, like too much message nowadays. I would say work with a person who actually knows stuff and not sure we give you a solution. The person must know your background, what you can do, what you cannot do, what's the history and all that. That then only is fair. And hopefully more people actually pay a little bit more attention to what they can do to actually get injured much later, or if they get injured, they have more confidence with their body, because our body can self-healing all the time. You just need to sleep, eat well, and you will heal.
Right. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put social media links and websites on where you can find Josephine in the comment section in the Facebook live version. Okay. Now, Josephine, before we let you go, we're going to have a little rapid fire question. This is unplanned, so I'm just
Oh
going to
my
throw some questions at you. The first answer that comes to your mind, share with us. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, ready.
One embarrassing thing happened in your career.
In my career,
Just one. Quick, go. This is rapid fire.
I
Bang,
know,
bang, bang.
but I can share with you like my one very embarrassing thing, not regarding to my career, which is like last time, we have a headset, right? When I was driving, that was like probably 10 years ago. So when I was driving, so I was just finished talking to a person, and then I forgot to click hang up, and then there's a car like overtake me, and then I actually swear. Then I realized that, oh, my phone I'm still online, and then and then I was like, okay, quickly hang up. But I think the person probably hang up already. But it was like quite embarrassing
I hope
when
so.
I think about it.
Nice. Happens to all of us, huh? Okay, Joe.
Oh.
When you step into a gym, all the racks and equipments are occupied. What would you do?
I will go to the machine.
All right.
I'll go to
If
the
you
cardio
want-
machine.
You go to cardio machine? Okay.
Yeah.
If you want 10 million ringgit tomorrow, how would you spend it?
I want 10 million tomorrow. I will invest. I will invest. I
By
will
Bitcoin, right?
I will invest and watch out for a personal training studio in Klang Valley. They will be like super posh, really good trainer. I will hire a great team, very good marketing team. So Noel, just watch out if I want 10 million ringgit, that will happen. I'm just kidding.
Josephine, you
definitely
don't
look
need 10
into
million for that.
investment.
That's great. That's great. And last one, Josephine,
Yeah.
if you can eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be? Just
I
one.
think it will be bread.
Carbs.
Yeah, I love my bread. But even though I don't eat them every day, but I like eating bread. This is like very easy to go to. Right? I wouldn't say no to bread. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
That's great, Josephine. Thank you so much. So once again, for
Thank
those who
you
are
for
watching
having
this,
me.
I'm going to post everything about Josephine in the comment. Please go to Facebook to follow her on Instagram. And Josephine, Noel, and I thank you so much for your time and your sharing today.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye,
Thanks
Joe.
for
Thanks
being
for
on the
being
line.
here. And to everyone
Wow.
else, if you are watching this right now, and if you have a question that you want to ask Josephine or something that's on your mind, and just feel free to comment below. Joe would see it, or we could forward that question to her, or she might just come in here and respond to that. And over to you, Alvin. What is our next segment that we are going to move on to?
So our next segment is called Show and Tell. This is
Right.
something where we show you something and tell you a story behind it. So I'm going to hand this over to Noel to lead us or seduce us with his show and tell. All yours, Noel. What is your show and tell for episode?
So this, like, if you all were watching last week's show, I kind of showed you something like that looked like a pair of scissors, but then it's angled downwards like this. And I kind of teased you all and said that next week I'm going to tell. So they said, so it's not a pair of scissors. It's not really. It's a trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to show you the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, so you see the whole thing. It's actually quite long. It's not to trim your nose hair. It's not to trim any other hair. And if you see how you see that. You see that? So it's to cut. So this is actually, I only discovered this maybe 2 years ago. This is to, can anyone guess what this is? Anyone want to comment below and let me know that, I know what that is. Alvin can't guess I already told Alvin what it is. Anybody? 5 seconds. I'm going to tell you anyway. Okay, anyway, this is a candle wick trimmer. So if you have a candle, I don't like my candle today. And you know how the wick is inside, right? So this thing goes in, and then I can trim the wick. So that means I cut it and make it shorter, so the wick is shorter. So why is that? You may be like, what? There's a special candle just for that, yes. And you can count on me to buy all these silly things. Because like, can't you use a normal scissors, Noel? I guess you could. It's just that you gotta angle it differently, right? And it's a very bizarre thing. I just bought it, lah. Okay, but I wanted to share it because I found it very interesting. Because did you know that the longer the wick of the candle, most people don't like candles nowadays, right? Those days when I was young, staying with my family and all that, there were always power failures in Klang, and every time there's power failure, so we light candles and all of that. So the longer the wick of the candle, the faster it burns. But I didn't know that. Okay, it also gives out more soot, which is the black stuff and all that smoke that comes out. The more it burns, the candle also burns faster. So when you have a scented candle, which not exactly that cheap, scented candles can be quite expensive. You want to keep the wick short so that it gives the scent. You see the flame, and not have a wick this big and it's burning like a forest fire in there, because your candle will burn very fast. So people have invented such a device just to cut your little candle, and people like me actually will buy these things. So I bought it. I found it fascinating. Actually, there was when we first started our gym, about 6-7 years ago. We used to have scented candles at the gym, so I bought this as a tool for the girl at my front desk, so that she can have, let's do it properly. I gave her the tool for the job, which is to trim the candle. We would light scented candles every time before members started coming in, so that when they step into the gym, the place smell great. And I bought this trimmer because I wanted to, because we're burning candles the whole day, right? The last thing I want is the wick to be long. And like, hello, how many candles did we buy this month? So that's why I looked into something like this to prolong the life of my candle. So I hope you learned something new. I hope you're not disappointed, because you may be thinking, wow, what new fitness device is this? What can it? Is it gonna cut something? I don't know if you cut your toenail or something, but yeah. So I hope you found it fascinating. Penny saying that she thought it's for my gardening work. Well, it could probably trim a few things. It could. Yeah, I'm not going to put it for my garden. Bhavani saying it looks like a surgical instrument we used to eviscerate the eye. So yeah, it kind of does look, because surgical tools are kind of long and angled funny, because you want to go in the cavity of your body. Yeah, so hope you found this
Someone
useful.
said it's like for eyelashes, Noel.
Oh yeah, that's right. But who cuts eyelashes? But true, it does look right. So, but I bet you didn't know. And here's, you will see this normally in a place that sells scented candles, or you can go look it up, Lazada, Shopee. Look for Candle Wick Trimmer. But can I tell you all something? End of the day, it's nothing a normal scissors can't do, because often when I want to light my candle, I can't find this because I put it somewhere else. So I sometimes just take my finger and I pinch the top off the candle for free. For free. You did not need to buy this. So but yeah, if you want to feel fancy and buy this, you can go ahead. It's 20-30 ringgit or something. Jojo 2021 is saying that she wants to buy one too. By all means, go ahead. I like my candles, so I buy my accessories. So yeah, does that fascinate you, Elvin?
Oh, it does. I didn't know it was for candles. I was assuming it was a gardening tool, because I know
you
you got
also
your
thought it was a gardening
sunflowers
tool.
going up,
Right.
and I
Actually,
thought
it
it's
does
one of your
kind of look
tools.
like it could be a gardening tool.
Well, I love it. I love segments like this where we all learn something, and I learn something. A candle wicker.
Hang on, Elvin. I kind of audio right there. Okay, I got you back. Okay, you just kind of froze for a while. Probably me,
Awesome.
actually. Yeah. All right.
Amazing. So thank you so much. That is our show and tell segment. Our last and final segment is Ask Us Anything. So we're going to spend some time just to go through Instagram. I'm going to look through Facebook. If you have any questions for us, do comment your questions. In the end of the day, one of our main objective is to answer your health and fitness questions, be it fat loss, nutrition, lifestyle, and we have Josephine as our guest today, mobility. Keep your questions coming. Those of you who are watching this episode at a different time, feel free to reach out to us with your questions. What Noel and I will do is compile your questions. If anything that is addressed specifically to Josephine, we will send it to her, and we also will include all of our social media so you can reach out to us individually.
Yeah,
Is there
I
anything
got
on
a question.
Instagram,
I
Noel?
got a question.
Yes.
Not really. Just people laughing at my laughing with me, not laughing at me, laughing with me about my candle
Love
trimmer, and
that.
that's cool. I got a question for you. While everyone else, you please feel free to ask anything that you have in mind. Like so, it's been 2 weeks now that gyms are kind of reopened back. Um, what has been the number one thing that your clients are coming back to you with? What is the problem that they're coming back to you with? Alvin, I need help with this. Alvin, I need help with that. Is there like some similar trend that you're seeing with all your clients?
I would say coming back with a new issue and something that I began to ask most of my clients recently, it's more towards how do you feel? What's one thing that is affecting you mentally? So it's moving more towards mental health. And I realized that when I ask my clients this unexpected question, some of them do open up and say, Alvin, honestly, I don't feel like working out at all. That's the last thing I want to do at the end of my day. I'm stressed with work, kids are going back, so many things. And I realized that, wow, as a personal trainer, mental health or the questions surrounding this area is some of the last questions that we don't know how to ask or we don't ask at all. So just listening to them prompts me to be more concerned, not just the physical fitness, health, well-being, but also coming back to checking in on their mental well-being, making sure that they are in a healthy space up here, not just physically.
Yeah,
So that's something new, Noel, for me.
yeah. And that's just great. As in, I think that the fact that they're just even showing up to work out, to train, even when they don't feel like training, that's huge. But you're very right. I would also say the same thing, Arvind, as in, if I had one thing that a lot of my clients are coming back with, it's really that it's work stress for everybody. And you would think that okay, things are back to normal now, as in like no, it's like people are more stressed, more new responsibilities. I think a lot of companies out there also are understaffed. I go to restaurants who have, uh, one of the restaurants nearby just had to close for one night and said we have no staff, and it's like it's affecting people all over. So that's an interesting observation. We're getting it as well. People are demotivated. And the message, the one thing that I would say to anyone who feels like you're not working out, don't feel like working out, demotivated, is that the thing about motivation is motivation is super unreliable. You
Yeah.
can't depend on motivation uh, to be there in order for you to train. You need to train regardless if motivation is there or not. You need to have a routine, right?
Right.
You don't wake up being motivated to brush your teeth. You may be motivated to head out to work. You may be motivated to wake up and go for a run. You may be motivated to wake up tomorrow because you are going for a holiday. But you're not motivated to wake up to brush your teeth, but you do it anyway. So your workouts, your routine, whether you go for a walk, whether it's a healthier meal, cannot rely on motivation because motivation comes and goes. And that's the good news because if it goes, it's going to come back. It's gonna come back. It can't be like gone,
Right.
motivation gone forever. Ayo, that's no, that won't happen. For a lot of people, motivation comes back in January. Magically, it comes back, right? So see, and think about it. What is special about the 1st of January? It's just another date on the calendar, right? So it's just that everybody's getting into a routine. But yeah, so I hope someone felt encouraged by that to just go out and just do something. You can reduce the step count on your Fitbit because a lot of these devices are fixed at 10,000 steps and you are super demotivated. You're not going to hit those 10,000 steps. How about you reduce it to 8,000 steps? And at least that way you achieve a win. And that keeps you going. Like, oh, I hit my 7,000 yesterday. Now I can just hit
Yeah.
another 7,000. These are little things that you can do instead of just sitting there and waiting for motivation. You can also share your struggle with someone else. Like Alvin's clients are telling him that they are not motivated, and that way Alvin can hold them accountable, can do something to give them that little push. I have 2 clients who have booked calls with me tomorrow. They normally don't book calls unless they want to talk about or they have something to troubleshoot. And when they book the call with me, I can see in the email what they want to talk about. 2 of them tomorrow actually emailed this to say that I need a pep talk because I don't feel like doing it. So it's real, everybody. It's happening. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh, this fitness thing is hard, it's just go out there, get someone to do it with, your spouse, your partner, your friends, join a group class, hire a coach. Because if you're just alone, it's gonna feel like there's this huge mountain that you need to climb on your own. But if you do it with someone else, you have a coach, that mountain becomes more approachable, it becomes more doable, and something that you can overcome.